Welcome friends. At the outset, let me congratulate you on taking a decision to join what is undoubtedly the fastest growing industry in India. Our Prime Minister says that we should grow at about 7 to 8% this year. Most industries, you take the FMCG industry, you take the IT industry, is growing between 11 to 14%. The sports management industry this year is expected to grow at upwards of 50%. And for you to be able to capitalize and participate in this growth, I'm going to talk about the three most important things that you need to do so that you'll be able to benefit from all of this. Let me start with my first point. How big is this industry and how fast is it growing? Traditionally, a country is said to be a sports playing nation only when it has a sports property. Take an example of one of the largest sports properties in the world, the UEFA Premier League, the Barclays Premier League. Football is played by how many countries in the world? We're talking most countries in Europe, a few countries in South America, a few countries in Africa. The total number of people who follow football in the world, however, is much, much bigger than that. India as a nation has traditionally been a little slow in following football, in following any game other than cricket. Now, if you take the kind of properties that we have today, okay, we were basically a cricket playing nation and a cricket loving nation till 2008. 2008 IPL changed all that. Today we have IPL that happens in March and April. We have a football league, the ISL, that happens in September. In between, we've got tennis, we've got table tennis, we've got Pro Kabaddi, the National Basketball Association has entered India. There is a Formula 1 circuit in Delhi. There are bike leagues that happen, you name it, and as a nation of 1.2 billion people starts taking a greater interest in sport, you can imagine what kind of opportunities are available to all of you. Let me give you an example of how big sport already is in India. The last World Cup, the game started at 2 o'clock, the Cricket World Cup. The game started at 2 p.m. in the afternoon and was watched by about 100 million Indians. The Football World Cup started at 3 a.m. and was watched by about 12 more million people. The total viewership for the Football World Cup was 112 million people. Football is already bigger than cricket in India. Now, what kind of opportunities are basically available to all of you by the time you finish this course? Broadly, there are 4 different opportunities. The first is in the team management per se. The second is in the media interaction. The third is in the sponsorships and the intellectual property merchandising. And the fourth one is something which is somewhat new in India, which is what is called grassroot development. Let's take the first part. What is the management? Let's say you join let's say a Delhi Daredevils. Now this team has to be managed. It travels to various places, it stays in hotels, it conducts events, there are press conferences that have to happen, there are interactions that, the team has to function well, there are lots of roles to be done over there. As you do this course, you will realize more about each of these things. All this comes under team management. The second thing is that this team has to collect sponsorships. So on behalf of, let's say, a Delhi Daredevils, you would approach an auto company like Maruti and say, why don't you become a sponsor on our team? You would approach a Coca-Cola and say, why don't you sponsor the front side logo on the t-shirts? This is the media sponsorship part of the story. You would approach a channel saying, why don't you associate with our brand and we can work out something which is mutually beneficial. A part of this particular role is, let's say, the merchandising role. You see Manchester United shops all over the world. You can have a Mumbai Indians shop like this, let's say 2 years down the line. You could lead the brand building effort for that. Alright, the third activity that you could do is, let's say, the grassroots development. That you're going to need players. How does a club function? A club takes on people at a very young age, grooms them into star players, and it makes money by marketing these star players, and sometimes the player itself can be sold from one team to another. That kind of thing happens in football all the time. So how do you go around identifying raw talent? This talent is available in schools, it is available in colleges today. We need a team of people who would go around to these various schools, develop this talent, tie up with the schools. That is what is called grassroots development. The MRF Pace Academy is already doing that. There is an Olympic gold quest which is run by Prakash Padukone, which is already doing things along those lines. These are the basic roles that are available to you as a part of your career going forward. Coming to the third part of my talk, how could you as a student capitalize on the opportunity that is already there? The industry is evolving very fast. Okay? What are the things that you need to do? Well, what are you going to learn over the next 1 year to 3 years, depending on the duration of your course. First is that you are going to learn management. So marketing, finance, accounts, okay, these are the standard subjects that are taught in marketing. This is something you are also going to learn. However, what is something which is different from what everybody else is learning is you are also learning now how these concepts apply to the field of sports management. Okay? If you are already an avid sportsman, excellent. Okay, that gives you a heads up. Otherwise, no issues. Okay, we will teach you the concept, the business of sports per se. Now, to be able to do this, okay, what is required? What is required to be successful in any endeavor? The first part is that I spoke about the multiple roles that are available to you. One of the biggest mistakes that students make is that they tend to select a role too early in life. Take your time. Go through all the courses, go through the compulsory courses. Of course, each of you has to do a lot of these compulsory courses. You will also be exposed to various electives. Try and pick and choose your elective well so that you are exposed to multiple aspects of the sports management industry. So this is the first point. Take your time, decide after you spend a little time learning the subject and doing some projects and doing internships in that particular section. The second thing that we expect from you is discipline. What is discipline? Regular attendance, regular doing the assignments that our faculty give you, regular discussions. Okay? The bulk of the learning in an MBA program happens in the class when you attend. There is no one right way of doing things. There are 4 or 5 right ways. So you go through case studies, you learn from the case studies, and then you apply those concepts to the specific challenge that, let's say, a Delhi Daredevils is facing, or let's say a Mumbai Cricket Association is facing. This is how you are going to learn. And to be able to do this, you must therefore have discipline. The third point that we would like you to do is that sports is not an individual game. Sports is a team game. You and I have seen various movies on HBO and AXN which talk about how sports gets operationalized and how the productivity of a group of people is always more than the productivity of one person. So work with your friends, interact with the others. Don't just move around with people from the same community or the same subject that are studying. Don't just interact with 4 or 5 students who are your friends. Interact with everybody. That's how we become a better team. I really wish I could have been here with you on your first day on campus, but not to worry, we will keep interacting throughout your course. Since the last 5 years, 2010 is when we started, we have helped over 300 students set up a very promising career in the field of sports management. And our 300 students are today in companies like Nike, Procam, IPL franchisees. They are working with the Mumbai Cricket Association, and I look forward to helping all of you select the right direction for each one of you. At the same time, prepare you with skills, knowledge, and the right attitudes so that you will succeed and do well in the field of sports management. Thank you.